What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps to make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms to your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And it does also help give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm as well. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we are headed back to New York. We're headed back to New York City because once again, we're at another situation here where police attempted to make an arrest at a migrant shelter and the police were assaulted, only to show some of the most amazing restraint you will ever see in your life from a police officer. And this is what drives me crazy the most. The amount of restraint the police show towards Biden's migrants is insane. You can tell at this point with all the videos that we've seen that are similar to this prior, clearly NYPD and police all throughout New York State, for that matter, have been debriefed and told that whenever it comes to migrants and you having to make an arrest at these migrant shelters, even if it's not in a shelter, even if it's somewhere in the street in Times Square, you handle them with kid gloves. Handle them with the most gentlest of care. Don't you dare put your hand on that gun. Don't you grab your baton, and don't even use your taser to get the situation under control. You handle them with gentleness and care as if they are newborn babies. And we see this over and over again, and it drives me crazy. It really does, because New York police, as far as from what I've seen, is the most aggressive police force in this country. New York police will put hands and feet on you in the middle of an arrest if you have bad breath. But when it comes to Biden's migrants, they're the equivalent of newborn babies. So now let's get into this article here from the New York Post before I actually play the body cam footage. I just want to get into this New York Post article real quick, just to give you a little background information on what led up to this situation here. So this article is titled, "Wild Footage Shows Unruly Migrant Mob Scuffling with New York Cops at Hotel Shelter." Now let's get into the article. Newly released police body cam footage captures the moment cops in Yonkers are forced to scuffle with a group of rowdy migrants at a local hotel packed with asylum seekers. Police busted two people during Tuesday afternoon's melee at a local Ramada Inn, but not before they were surrounded and berated in Spanish by an unruly migrant mob, the footage shows. Cops were called to the hotel shortly before 1 p.m. on reports of an out-of-control guest. "The guy is over here unruly," a Ramada employee said during a 911 call. "He is being very violent with everybody. He's throwing stuff at everybody. We need somebody here right away." So this guy right here, and this is the man who was acting insane, was being violent, throwing things around all over the place. And by the time the police showed up, he was still acting as such. And we're going to see how this all played out at the end when I play the body cam footage for you. But it is, once again, it is mind-blowing to me. And I keep saying this, the amount of restraint NYPD is able to show towards these folks. It is truly unbelievable. The footage shows the officers walking into the lobby where they grabbed Arnell Kent, 35, and took him in custody while surrounded by a crew of other migrants. Now, here's what the illegal immigrant who was arrested had to say. This is what he was saying in Spanish, and you're going to hear it in the video when we play the body cam footage, but it'll be in Spanish so you won't understand. But this is what he stated as he was being arrested, resisting arrest, might I add. He was saying this in Spanish. "Why does he have to hit me?" Nobody hit him, and you'll see that in the body cam footage. "Why does he have to hit me?" Kent is heard jawing in Spanish as he struggles to get away, resisting arrest. "They're not taking me. They're not taking me. I'm not doing anything. Well, the guy who called the police on you at the desk said you were being violent, unruly, and throwing things at everybody. And when the police showed up, you acted exactly the same way that the man at the front desk described. But go figure, he wasn't doing anything. That's when a migrant woman identified as 24-year-old Yanilet Hernandez pushes the officers, then blocks the door to the police vehicle to bar cops from putting Kent inside. This is crazy. Hernandez was charged with second-degree assault, obstruction of governmental administration, and resisting arrest, and was being held at a Westchester County jail on $500 bail. So now let's get into the body cam footage here from NYPD, where they do a masterful job at showing so much restraint in the middle of being assaulted. Let's watch this clip here.
¿Por qué? No, ya va, porque no me llevan. A mí no me van a llevar. ¿Qué estoy haciendo yo? ¿Qué estoy haciendo? Ven, a mí no me van a llevar, yo no estoy haciendo nada.
Oh my God, this irritates me so much. That woman, she should have been arrested immediately. She should have been arrested immediately. Hands all on the person they're trying to arrest, hands all on the cops, and she just got to go home. But I digress. Let's carry on. Great job, NYPD. Great job.
Move out the way. Yo no estoy haciendo nada. No haga, por favor. Move out the way. Move out the way.
So that's the woman who was blocking the door. Let's just go back just a little bit. Look at her. I mean, just crazy. It's amazing what these folks can get away with. It is amazing. She's literally blocking the door so that the police cannot open the door to arrest this man. Unbelievable. But she's about to get what she was asking for right now.
Move out the way.
Why is everybody yelling as if you don't see them acting unruly? I don't understand what's even happening here. It's ridiculous. Everybody there should have been arrested. Now, mind you, she was charged with a second-degree assault on an officer, on top of a handful of other charges. Under the amendments that Eric Adams wanted to make to the sanctuary city law, where if a illegal immigrant is arrested for a violent crime, which second-degree assault sounds like a violent crime to me, especially on a police officer, that what that amendment would have called for is that NYPD is to immediately hand the migrant over to ICE. That's what was supposed to happen. Now, obviously, the amendment didn't happen. It didn't even come close to happening. But that's what should have happened in this situation here. Both of those individuals should have been handed over to ICE immediately. Now, I want to get into another news clip here also to give us a little bit more information concerning, I guess you can say, their side of the story, right? So let's get into this really quickly.
Can turn on.
Look at this guy. I mean, under any normal circumstances, this goofy would have been tased. This warranted tasing. I keep saying the same thing over and over again. The restraint is unbelievable. The restraint that NYPD is showing is unbelievable. Not even a taser. Not even a taser. This is a situation that warrants that. Look at how much they're struggling just to get this man into the car. And then you have another woman that's blocking the door. Listen, you don't have to do that, okay? Bang, bang. That's unnecessary in this situation. It's completely, I think we can all agree on that. That would be completely ridiculous. But taser? You can't pull the taser out? You would have pulled the taser out on me. You would have pulled the taser out on me and probably did some other things. But you see this guy here, how wild he looks. He looks like a meme, for crying out loud. And not even a taser. Not even a taser. Just kid gloves, handled like an infant.
Ken Tarnal, a migrant from Venezuela also living at the shelter, was arrested Tuesday for disorderly conduct.
There's a guy unruly. He's getting very violent with everybody. He's throwing stuff at everybody.
It happened after a dispute between migrants and staff. Police body cam video shows Arnal pulling away from officers and this woman blocking the police car door. Police say at one point she attempted to strike officers. She too was arrested. Arnal says he acted out because he's fed up with his rights being violated.
Let me pause here. This is another thing that really kills me too. My man is fresh. Have you noticed how fresh a lot of these folks are? Like, I don't, did he get his federal workers permit already? Where's he getting his money from to dress this fresh? My man is clean. My man fled persecution allegedly and came to New York to get fresh. He got his Brooklyn hat on, all white fit. You see the white tee clean underneath. He doesn't have a speck of dirt or dust anywhere on his all white fit. That man is clean. I don't even look that clean when I go out. I mean, I don't just, I'm pocket watching. Where's JT at? Because I'm pocket watching. I'm trying to find out, does he have his, does this man have his federal worker permit? Does he have a federal workers permit? Where is he getting this money from to dress this clean in the midst of fleeing persecution? Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's wrap this up already.
Because he's fed up with his rights being violated.
They enter our rooms without knocking. They enter, search through our personal belongings when we aren't there, our money and jewelry.
The individuals that we're talking about and what's happening at the Ramada Inn appears to be limited to a few people who just, frankly, aren't happy with some of the rules.
Rules include no unsafe appliances like hot pots in the rooms. Police say officers responded to over 100 dispute calls at the shelter since last May, when over 250 migrant families moved in. We're told no complaints of theft were made, but it's now being investigated.
So there have been over 100 calls to settle disputes, over 100 calls to the Yonkers Police Department to come settle disputes such as this. Out of over 100, there has never been one complaint of theft by the migrants. But now that this is starting to get some sort of national attention, or at least local attention in New York, and lightweight national attention, if you want to, count people like me on YouTube, now all of a sudden they're stealing. But the police have been there how many times in a year's time? And there's never been one complaint of theft? I'm just saying something sounds fishy.
We're not dealing with crime. We're dealing with disputes. We're trying to obviously diffuse disputes. There's a couple people that aren't happy with certain situations.
He said that they're not dealing with crime. So that's the Yonkers mayor to the left of him, or my left at least. And this is the deputy sergeant of Yonkers Police Department saying that these aren't crimes being committed. It's just disputes. They literally just said, prior to showing them speak, that the woman attempted to swing on the officers. They arrested her on second-degree assault and 3 other charges. The man at the front desk of the hotel called the police because Kent, the man, was being violent and throwing things at people. And when the police showed up, he was just as unruly as the man at the front desk described him to be. Yet here you go, the mayor of Yonkers and a deputy sergeant putting the cape on, covering for Biden's migrants, saying that no violence is being had here, no crime is being had here, even though you arrested the woman for second-degree assault. But there's no crime going on over here. Move along, folks. Nothing to see here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And with all that being said, that does it for today's news. And there will definitely be more news like this coming out of New York in the very near future. But that does it for today's news. So I'm going to thank you all for watching today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also, please make sure to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and will be pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.